What are we going to get into today? Well, today will be part 2 of the Double Oaked Roasted Bourbon. We already distilled it out, and so what we're going to do is we're going to blend it, and we're going to proof it down, and get ready to start aging. Okay, but first things first, welcome to Stillworks Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is a channel all about home distillation and brewing. Well, it is nice and cold today. This has all been out in the cold. This are all my cuts. If you just see, it is crystal clear. It's just fogging up on the glass a little bit. Okay, so I got 2, 3, 4 good quarts, and I think 1, 2, 3.5 good quarts. This one here, it has a lot of tails in it, don't smell just quite right, so that one I'm gonna put away in my face jar. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the clips from the distillation, and we'll put some music so you can enjoy that, all right? And then we'll get ready to get started, all right? So, I'll be right back. Okay, so where we're at. Well, I got my mash transferred over into the still. I got my column stacked out with 2 rolls of copper in the bottom of the first section. I got some electric heated, low at the time, and I got some gas under the pot. And what I will do is, I like to bring it up slow to get the liquid start to move around inside the still, so I think it lessens the chance of scorching. I mean, my column's ice cold right now, so it'll be a little while, it'll heat up, and then we'll start collecting. All right, I got a cup under here for my 4 shots heads. I'll be collecting off 8 to 12 ounces. I'll start smelling it and tasting it at about 8 ounces, and sometimes I'll take off 12 just to be safe. And then we'll move on with the rest of this project. Okay, so I'll see you in a little while. I got some heat starting to come up. The pot temperature is 150 degrees. And I'm just getting 1 or 2 little drips every once in a while. And it's very pungent. I see my sight glass here. It's starting to condensate inside the sight glass. It's pretty much cold above the sight glass, but down below it, you can feel the heat coming up. So like I've said a million times, now's not the time to walk away and get a cup of coffee, because it's coming up the column. There's another drop. Yep, very pungent. It's fingernail polish remover. That's what it smells like. I'm about 160 in the pot. So soon it's going to come up. My head temperature's going to go up real fast. This is the fun part of this hobby right now, running the still. I like running the still. And it's fun to watch. But it's a lot of hurry up and wait. Alright, so, well, we got 2 quarts off here already. Let's see what we're coming off right after the spout. That's where I'd like to check. And we are at 65%. Alright? 65%. That's good. Got a good smell to it, got a good taste to it. So I think we'll get a couple more jars off here. I mean, everything so far This is going to be one good bourbon. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit. I'll be back. This stuff together. Got me a couple mixing jars here. I like to use these big old pickle jars for mixing in. Alright, I've already smelt these and I've tasted them. And this is what I'm going to use. Get all this mixed together. And then we'll proof it down to what our proof is. I'm thinking I'm wanting 90, right? If it was a little higher, a little lower, that would be okay too. But right around 90 is what I'm looking for. Can't tell me it ain't ice cold. Okay. Let's see what we got. I'll be so glad when springtime gets here. All right, we are looking at, woo, I'm showing above 80. I think what I'm gonna need to do, something don't seem right. All right, I'm using my regular Proof and Trails hydrometer. It's saying 110. That sounds about right to me. So let's get this out of the way. What I'm gonna do, I think let's start with one bottle of bottled water in here. Oops. One bottle of bottled water. Then we'll kind of mix these up. Let's see what we got now. And, whoop, a little bit too full. I am showing 95. You know what? I'm gonna leave it right there. All right, 95. I know it's supposed to be calibrated at, I think 62, somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't know if it tells you on there. 60 degrees. But whatever we got to do for winter time, we got to do, right? What I ended up doing was I let things warm up a little bit in here, and I went ahead and proofed it down to 90s, 89, 90 proof. So I think it's going to be fantastic. Okay. So now, and this is what the difference between this bourbon and the rest is the aging. All right, so what do we get from the oak? Well, you get a lot of flavor from the oak. I love the caramel, the vanilla taste, and you'll get really nice color, and you also get that A little bit of oaky taste too, which is really, really important. All right. And like I said before, this is the part that's going to make this bourbon different than other bourbons that I've made in the past. And it is going to be a double oaked bourbon. But we'll get back to this in a few minutes. Okay, just remember that one of the rules for bourbon is it needs to be aged in a new white oak charred barrel. And but first, let's talk about aging as a home distiller. All right, we have a few different options, right? So one of the options would be a large barrel. Well, it's not really an option for me because I don't produce. It'd take me a long time to produce, what are they, 45 or 50 gallons barrel to fill that up. So it is an option, but not really an option. All right. So the next option I would have would be the mini barrels, right? Now the mini barrels, to me, you know, I've used them in the past. They produce some good tasting stuff, but I have found that the angel share is crazy, and I'm cheap. I don't like to give up that much of the angel share, but it sure is tasty. Now I'm in the middle of using a Bad Mo barrel. It's supposed to be, because it's like you've seen it. It's a stainless steel barrel with a wooden end. So the idea behind it is to mock the big barrel, right? They've worked out the ratios of how much of liquid is contacting the wood and all that, and what I've tasted out of it so far, sneaking a sample, it's getting there. But it does take time. Like in the big barrels, you know, you might be looking at 2 to 4 years, and sometimes even more. The mini barrels, they're usually a few months, and it's ready. And then the Bad Mo, if I understand it right, about after a year, it's going to be pretty much ready to drink. All right. So that's that. The next option we have is sticks or stays. I've used both. They work very well. I like to kind of char them on one side. That helps filter out stuff. And it works pretty well. All right. And then, of course, you're in a glass jar, so you don't have no angel share. All right. And then what I use a lot is chips. They're just the toasted oak chips. And they can be done in a matter of weeks. You know, so and that's what we're going to use here. We're going to use chips. All right, so that's our options. What is double oaking? Well, this is how we're going to do that, okay? Like I said before, we're going to use chips. My normal amount of oak, my rule of thumb is a 1/2 ounce per quart of distillate, all right? And after about let me back up. So my normal is I add a 1/2 ounce per quart. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that in here. I'm going to say 2 to 4 weeks, and then when I feel that it's ready, what we'll do is we'll take it out off those chips, and we're going to put brand new fresh chips in and oak it again for another 2 to 4 weeks. All right. So I think this is a new, I don't know if it's a new category, but this is a category in bourbons that are really, really growing. All right. So let's put some chips in this. Each one of these has just a hair more than 2 quarts. All right. So let me get my scale. Got my scale here. Now I need I use a coffee filter. Coffee filters are great for all kind of stuff. All right. So we're just gonna put a little bit over 1 ounce in each one of these jars here. All right, there's one. And if you want to go a little more, that is fine. Like I said, that's just a rule of thumb. Okay, and we'll put a lid on that. And then if I go in a few days and I don't like quite what it looks like, I can always add a little bit more. It's hard to take it back out, but I might add a little more maybe. But we'll go ahead and we'll let this do its thing for a couple weeks, all right? So, like I said before, what's going to happen is it's going to go 2 to 4 weeks like this. Then I'll take this oak out and I'm going to put fresh oak, and I'm just hoping to get that oaky taste, you know, real upfront oaky taste. So that's where we're at, and I will come back and we'll do a tasting. You know, when it's bottling time, we'll do a tasting, right? But this ought to be pretty interesting. I mean, so far, the distillate tastes fantastic. I don't know if you ever done the roasting part of the corn, but I'm really surprised. You ought to try it one time, see if you like it. And I said it before, it kind of adds, I'm gonna say like a popcorn taste, maybe even like a buttered popcorn taste. You know, not in your face, but just a little bit in the background, and it's really amazing. You'll try it. All right, so I'm gonna put these in my fermentation room, let them just sit there, let them do their thing. So I guess the last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing. Cheers, everybody. All right.